We're going to play a little bit of trivia here. This man was an English poet, a playwright, and an actor, widely regarded as both the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and a bard of Avon. Now, I am Trace Sarantis. I'm definitely not that gentleman that I just spoke about. But the guys to my right, my analytical crew, in both Sponge and Maniac, might know exactly who I'm talking about. And do not cheat, Chad, because I know you looked.
Do I get the first guess? I got my hand up first.
I gave him the first guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Henry Greer.
Definitely not. What do you got, Maniac?
I was going to say Sadokist.
He's not English. Is it Shakespeare?
Not even English.
I don't even know where Shakespeare's from.
Chad, it was indeed Shakespeare. You're gonna get a total of 1 FACEIT point, and you yourself can get some FACEIT points too if you're participating in the giveaway using FACEITMajor.com/giveaway. Head over there right now. That's the only way you're gonna win a bajillion million points. It's not really how many points.
You just make it up numbers.
That's not. Yeah, I don't even think it's a real number. But anyway, you can get about 2 million big ones and perhaps buy yourself a Dragon Lore using FACEITMajor.com/giveaway. Head over there now. Do the right thing. Sign up. Live the life. Live your best life. And try to win those points. Now, we do have a banger of a matchup for you guys. It's going to be Sprout. Oh, no, it's not going to be Sprout.
No, Sprouter in the lower bracket.
It's definitely not going to be Sprout. It's going to be a little ninjas in pajamas.
Yeah.
It's going to be this team by the name of Ints.
No, it's going to be Optic.
My God, I've lost the
But
plot.
you really tried because you only had 4 teams, and you managed to get 2 of them wrong. So I think I'm glad that you applied yourself.
I've really fallen apart.
But
here.
let me try and reiterate for ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls at home. This should probably have been thought as the upper bracket match because NIP should never have gone down to Sprout in the group stage.
True.
And then probably we would have had Optic versus the likes of NIP. But we get it early. We get it 1 round early, and this is going to be a bit of a banger because Optic have looked hot, NIP have looked depressingly bad.
You said it. I didn't say it. Chad Burchill, that's at Sponge on your favorite social media platforms.
Truth hurts, man.
To let him know how you feel about this Ninjas Pajamas projection that you give him. What's your take on this matchup at hand? Perhaps even the path that we're seeing the Ninjas have to take to get to where they're going.
Well, I think these two teams have had a very different event so far. Obviously, Optic didn't play that much. They were challenged a little bit by Ants on their way to the playoffs. But here is a little fun fact. Optic have played 50 rounds of Counter-Strike to get there. NIP have played 123 rounds of CS to get there. So they've had a really hard way to get here. There's pluses and minuses to it. Obviously, the minus being they were shaky. They threw away some rounds they shouldn't have. On the plus side of it, that gave a lot of time for Lecro to maybe find his style, as a team as a whole, to find how they want to play CS. That's really the only silver lining that I see to that.
Well, you really just got to fight. You got to fight for your right to play Counter-Strike, and NIP are doing that, and that's how they've managed to get through this stage because it was shaky. It was a lot of rounds, and it wasn't the most glamorous by any means, but there's certain individuals, I think Dennis has to be one, Rez has to be another, who really stepped up in pressure points for NIP and helped them get across the line. Well,
that did help NIP get across the line and get to this point at least, and I'm going to stop Bible thumping and QQing right now after that blunder of an intro I had where I said the 2 wrong teams were playing. We're going to focus instead on the teams that are actually playing, the Ninjas in Pajamas and Optic Gaming, and let's hear what it's looking like as they go into this matchup.
Optic made their mark on day 1 of the European Minor, with 2 convincing victories over Ants and 3D Max. But will it be enough to take down the Swedes of Ninjas in Pajamas? The Swedish side took a slightly longer route to the playoffs, but still stand strong with wins over Red Reserve, as Pistol Master Dennis took charge. But will new in-game leader Lecro guide his team to victory?
Yes, it is true. They could indeed guide that team to victory, but it has been a test thus far. They got a slow start yesterday out of the Ninjas Pajamas, but now we're going to focus on Optic because this lineup of Danes has been in NA. They probably adopted some of the superior North American play styles, and now they're probably ready for this.
That's completely and utterly wrong. Optic are basically the mixture of the players kicked from North, which was Config and Cajun, which is 2 surprising names to see getting thrown out or tossed out with the bathwater. And then the other likes of the matter is you have Gade, who was in the North Academy team. He actually got slotted into North and then quickly thrown out of North. It all happened very quickly and confusingly as all this roster change madness happened at the start of the year. Snappy and Yugi of Heroic fame have left that project to form this Danish squad, and right now, I suppose on the docket, there's 4 Danish teams who are definitely up there in the realms of Counter-Strike, and Optic are vying for that number 2 position. I definitely think that they have a good shout at grabbing that, especially if they can get themselves to the major here.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the very good things for Optic right now is that there are 3 heavy hitters that are, in my opinion, Config, Cajun, and Yugi. But they're all fired up for the tournament. They're all playing extremely well at the moment. Gate is basically doing what he needs to do, not more than that, but that's enough for them to just get really clear in the playoffs.
I think he's in the top 10 in out of all the players of the tournament. You know, I know they've had an easy run, but for him to be up there is where we paint him as more of a support player. But for him to be up there in the stat field, that's a very good sign, and that is off the back of 2. I don't want to say easy because the game against Ents was a closer affair, but 2 best of ones where they've managed to put themselves in this position. And you said they're fired up, and you were implying that they're fired up in the server, getting frags, dropping 30. They're also fired up outside the server. I was sitting down as they were playing their group stage matches and I was listening to the passion behind the communication. I was listening to their little huddle beforehand, and I don't understand Danish, but I understand the intent and I understand the kind of the vigor that they're putting out into the world, and I like what I'm feeling because these guys are here to win. They're not here trying not to lose. They're here to win, and that mentality is what you need, especially when you get a boy like Config who's going to come in here and he's going to just backhand everyone in the server with that bravado and show his style of Counter-Strike. Loud and proud.
Well, the fact that we talked about it, Optic, when we saw them first this tournament, is like when these guys came out of the gate, hey, they were hitting heads. They kind of approached this mentality as like a swarm. Like these guys came out guns a-blazing. And for all intents and purposes, should they do that today, this could spell disaster for NEP.
Yeah, obviously, I think all the green lights are there for Optic.
Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad.
That was unintended, but I'm going to take the credit for it. Anyway, no, I think tactically they play a very simple yet efficient Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
There isn't really nothing crazy or out of the ordinary, but what they do well. I think they have the good principles of Counter-Strike. Individually speaking, they are extremely strong. In my opinion, Snappy, maybe not the most tactical in-game leader, but I think mid-round, he's pretty, how to say, he has good ideas. He's lucid. That's the word I was looking for.
Sure.
He's lucid mid-round. He has good calls general. He knows how to avoid. How to exploit 4v4, 3v3s. So definitely that going for Optic in the game.
Yes. Well, we aren't going to hear from Optic, but we are going to hear from the Ninjas in Pajamas. We've got Freya the Slayer standing by with PETA, ready to meet her.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, I have managed to grab Ninjas in Pajamas coach Peter. So you guys come off a win last night against Red Reserve. How are you feeling coming up against an arguably tougher opponent in Optic?
Good question. I mean, Red Reserve isn't a bad team. They have extremely good players. They're Swedish, and Swedish players usually have a hard time playing against each other. You start playing more individual than team-based. Playing against Optic, they are Danes, and they're more team-based. Overall, a better team, no disrespect to Red Reserve, so I hope it will be a great game.
So how have you guys been preparing for this different style of play you're going to come up against?
Yesterday we went out, we came back 5 a.m. No, I'm joking. We had a good night's sleep. We did some practice this morning. Some of us stayed up late yesterday and just played individual. We had a morning walk, just talk it all through. And right now we're just getting prepared for the game.
Because I saw there was a tweet, I think it was from Blair, that showed Get Right was still up at 2 a.m. practicing. Is he super motivated coming into this?
Of course. He's the pure dedication of this game.
So last time you faced Optic in a best of 3, you guys lost 2-0, but this time you've got a new IGL in Lekro. Do you think this is going to be the difference maker in this match?
Last time when we played him in Dallas, it was we played really bad as a team, and I really hope that we just have that thing coming into this game that we want the revenge back. Lekro, great player, also has proven to be a really good IGL, and I'm really proud of him and all the team, and let's have a fun game now.
So just coming into your role a little bit as coach, how have you been finding it since joining, and how has the team developed?
It has been a rocky road. Since I joined, we have had several players coming in and out, but all in all, it's as it has been before, NIP. I like it, and I like that it's not always easy. We knew when I joined, I said we will have bumpy on the way and we will have some bad times, but if we can work on the bad times, we will get back. So I really hope that the turning point is now.
In my interview yesterday with Dennis after your game, he said he couldn't wait to go and beat Config. Are you equally as confident coming into this?
I don't know about Dennis. I mean, he's not sitting far away from me, but yeah. No, I'm joking. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to say too much. It's all banter and all fun beside the game. So,
thank you very much, Peter, and good luck in your next game. We're going to head back over to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Freya. And you know what? I think he's onto something there. They talk about it being banter outside of the game. Well, I don't know if you mess with config and banter. This guy really doesn't care. He will light you up verbally no matter where he is and what time of day it is.
Yeah, he's the driver of the banter bus. But we were talking about yesterday the mentality of NIP, and I think that's their biggest qualm right now, Trace, you know? I don't know what to say, really.
Well, there were also a lot of roles questions, too, right?
Yeah, but we got 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. It all comes down to today. Either they heal as a team, or they're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, until NIP are finished.
Okay. Well, you seem very emotionally attached to this game for whatever it's worth, Chad. Maybe it's the fact that a little bit of all of us want to see the Ninjas of Pajamas qualify for this major. But on the other hand, Optic definitely don't want to see that. But here you are. Here are your ninjas. Dennis, Forrest, Get Right, Lekro, Rez, and Lekro now in the driver's seat. Some of the stuff, Maniac, that we have seen so far from NIP in this tournament in terms of the calling under Lekro. Anything that you can note? Anything that you could possibly say going into this matchup?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is a weird ability to lose rounds they are not supposed to lose, and this is really uncharacteristic because when you look at the amount of experience there is on that roster, I would even put Dennis into the second player that has a lot of experience. Get Right, Forrest, obviously, and I've seen them lose rounds where they have such strong advantage, and I think this is one of the reasons why games were extremely close, where I felt like they had it on lockdown, basically. So this could be a factor going into this next game. Obviously, if they give Optic those chances, Optic are going to take them any day.
Yeah.
So this is a no-go for NIP, absolutely. Besides that, I don't know. Individually speaking, we've seen good things and bad things. We've seen players coming and going throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's hard to find really a consistency in that.
We know that this team has the depth of strategy. We know that this team has the depth of skill, and they definitely have the experience. The question mark right now, and the way that I posed it yesterday when it finished, was the fact that maybe it's a renegade syndrome. Maybe it's their mentality. They're not in the right place because they feel that they already should be in the major, or they feel that they already should be in the playoffs. They're getting one step ahead of themselves. Today is where they really need to turn it on, and they need to play to win, not to lose. I know that Optic has that hunger. NIP, though, the older dogs, the more veteran kind of name, hopefully that's not playing into their heads too much, because that could be the problem.
Well, we do have a head-to-head comparison of two players that are synonymous with the pistol usage, and it's going to be Dennis and Config. Now, both these guys in their own rights. Dennis has the capability to turn in a pistol round on its head. Meanwhile, Config can pick up the deagle and take your head right off, Chad.
I think something to note is probably Dennis doing the lion's share of the AWPing duties for NIP. Now, in the past, we've had the likes of Forrest picking it up. Obviously, you go back all the years, you have Fifi. But more recently, it was on Draken, and he wasn't very consistent AWPer. So now they've given it to Dennis, who's always been more of a hybrid player. That's something to note there. And Config in his own right can be a hybrid player. This guy can do it all. Hyper-aggressive, over the top, in and out of the server. And look to him to get to a very good start for the Optic guys with that aggression. Yeah,
I agree to all what he just said.
I agree too, Chad. Perfect. So
yeah. Well, you want me to say what I'd be saying to the NIP guys right now?
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
I think
well,
I'm down with that.
Man, on this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. This is an Al Pacino speech from the movie Any Given Sunday.
I was going to say that sounds highly provocative, and it might get the people going, but also it sounds just a little erotic in a way, so perhaps we,
You want to wrap it up?
We could probably get there at some point.
Can you get the vetoes ready or something?
You know what? Hold on. Let me punch it in right here. Nope. Fresh out of vetoes. Not yet.
Oh, really?
I mean, unless you want that. You know what you could do in the meantime while we're waiting on the vetoes?
I don't know. I'm sure you'll tell me.
You can head over to faceitmajor.com/giveaway. Hello. Did I need to tell you again, Chad?
We did.
Look, it's right there.
Well, I won those 2 million points. It's 2 million points, right?
It's 2 million.
Do you know how many zeros are in 2 million? This many zeros. It's going to be on that camera. They're going to get the one shot. They're going to do it. He's going to do it.
Chad, it's not really there. It's still not resonating. See,
can you see it? You can kind of see it.
Your handwriting really didn't. Yeah. It's not as stern.
It's 6 zeros.
As maybe Maniac and I would have sterner handwriting. Sterner. Yeah. Either way, vetoes. Yes, this is a best of 3. This will be very important. This will be intricate to the process here for either side, and perhaps we kind of speculate now where we see this one going.
Well, we have a little bit of information. These two teams played at the Pro League Finals. Obviously, Draken was in the roster, not Lekro. But what happened then was Optic removed Cash and Nip removed Nuke. I honestly believe this is going to go the same way.
Yeah.
I don't see it going somewhere different.
I think the first map is likely to be overpassed.
Oh, he's gone and looked again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Trace, DeVito, spoiler, Saranthus goes and grabs a bit of inside information from behind the players before the segment goes live. But it is going to be the Dust 2 ban, which means Optic have the chance to punish with that of Nuke.
Yeah,
but if Trace, the spoiler over here, is going to be right, and it is going to be overpass, I can see that making sense. NIP did struggle on that map earlier in the tournament against Red Reserve. Maybe they can see a way to punish this. Like we said, no real key ride or die AWP player. And in the scheme of things, it's going to be Nuke. So that is a punish pick from Optic. Map number 2, I feel, could be overpass or even trickling over to the 3rd. So NIP, they feel usually comfortable on a thing like Inferno. They're not too shabby on, but there will be overpass, which is surprising.
This is an interesting pick. I could have seen Inferno or Train as a pick for NIP. Overpass, maybe they feel like they didn't show their best selves against Red Reserve, and maybe that they kind of let it go away when they should have closed earlier.
They did start slow.
Sometimes even though the game goes to 16-14, you go back to your room and you think we really had it in the bag. You're playing good on this map.
Feels like
play it again.
Mirage, or maybe they'll feel Inferno as a safer pick. It is a little bit more strategic. Whereas Mirage, you
Inferno
get the very brawly players right there out of the likes of Optic, you know, the likes of Config. So Inferno is the 3rd. That makes sense. It kind of, we have 3 relatively strategical maps here. Obviously, the pace is going to be set on Nuke, and that's something which Snappy and the Danish core have been playing at a high level for some time now. I like the combo that they have outside with Cajun B and Config, the way that they play Yard, and the way that they have the synergy between coming up secret and playing off each other. It disrupts the standard wall smoke, so NIP are going to need a solution for that on that first map.
Well, you know, Chad, I personally like to give things away. And I generally like to do it for free, just like FACEIT does. And it doesn't matter what platform you're actually watching this tournament on today. You should probably head over to FACEIT.com. Make sure your accounts are linked. We're going to be giving away 100,000 FACEIT points right here, right now. Can I get a drum
person?
Roll? Can either one of you guys drum?
No.
But I can do that.
I got it.
We're doing it right this second.
And the FACEIT drop is...
I wasn't ready for this.
I hope it's going to go.
Ooh. Super SX, congratulations on your 100,000 FACEIT points, which you can, I guess, redeem and use at the ticket counter. We got some teddy bears in the back. I'm just kidding.
That'd
Only
be cool.
on YouTube videos. Yeah, that would be pretty
But you come
cool.
on up, and I'm standing there, and you point what you want, and like I grab the big teddy bear off the top shelf, and
Or you get like the stick and you make it fall down, and you catch it, and shoo, on your way.
Well, I wouldn't say shoo.
Well, you're the one that tells us not to thank the fans, Chad. I just want to make sure we all remember from yesterday what happened and what transpired and what's about to transpire.
20% of my heart.
What's about to transpire, Chad, is a best of 3. It's going to be Optic, and it's going to be the Ninjas in Pajamas, and I need to know who you guys have in this matchup.
I think I'm going to have to go with Optic here. The veto heavily leans towards them. What I've seen in the tournament thus far hasn't given me a reason to doubt them or their individuals. I know they're passionate. I know they're ready for the W. I know they're going to be fired up. And NIP, I'm just doubting the mentality of these guys right now, and they need to prove me wrong if they want to grab that major spot.
Can I do a mixed prediction? Can I do that?
Seems
Can
very
I do if?
politically correct, but
Okay,
yeah,
I'm going to say Optic could win this 2-0 based on Nuke and Overpass. I think if it goes to 3 map, I would give NIP a chance.
Damn.
But this is a 2-0 Nip, 2-0 Optic, or a 2-1 Nip. That's my mixed Swiss prediction.
Is he hedging?
Perhaps. Now, I'm going to have to say that, well, I'm probably signing on the side of Optic. You know why? I believe in Nip, and I feel like they need to get back in this major. But Optic have been sitting around all day watching Nip play, so it's been one of those things. Where in which I will also pass it to the guys who just watch the game all day long. Just 2 dudes hanging out in a room. I don't know what they're doing over there, but perhaps it's about time we give it to Matthew Trivet and Henry Greer.
Thank you, Trace. I think that sums up our lives better than anything else. We're just 2 dudes sitting in a room watching Counter-Strike, and I don't even have a clue what we're doing.
Getting it done.
Are we?
Every day. In and out. Another
Burger.
day, another 3 best of 3s. This is the second one. NIP versus Optic. I would say the game of the day we've got here. It's Optic who are coming in as a favourite, especially that veto. NIP have looked uninspired and quite flat overall. They haven't really had a superstar within their ranks. I guess Dennis has had some amazing moments, but they're quite few and far in between. The fact that we see him do a clutch maybe once a half and to save them, get them back in the game.
They haven't been convincing. Look, I saw people online saying, oh, how could you be so hard on them all? They beat Red Reserve 3 times yesterday. Oh, oh, you're giving them too much credit. I'm speaking about Red Reserve. Look, this is NIP.
Yeah.
If you're an NIP fan, you can't be sitting here wanting me to go, oh, what a great job, you beat Red Reserve. You want these guys back at the top of the world, and that's the standard that we're still going to hold them to some extent. Sure, they haven't been there forever, but they're still in Oakland. They've still been a team that's consistently within the mixes and ranks of invited teams to bigger premier events. So, yeah, was I convinced by that yesterday? Look, sure, they won all 3 games that they needed to win to get into the playoffs. Fine. But they're still not a team that's convincing me that they're not only going to win this minor, but make an impact at the major if they make it there.
Absolutely so. And Optic have looked pretty stellar in this minor so far. They're looking to prove themselves and solidify themselves as the 2nd best Danish team at this point. They're definitely got a lot of firepower there. You can see them just getting ready there as NIP, but you've got some of the big names within this team. Of course, it's got to be Yugi. His AWP, maybe one of the best at the event here. Absolutely fantastic in terms of individual prowess with the sniper. Unfortunately, he was stuck on the T side of Nuke, so maybe we won't see that straight away. But as the game develops, we get to Overpass, for example, it's going to be a massive problem. NIP, we talked about this a lot. They don't necessarily have the dedicated AWPer. They don't have that role solidified. So maybe this could be a bit of a stepping stone for them if they can work out who's going to be consistently AWPing. We did see Forrest pick it up. We saw Reds have a go with the AWP. Lecro was doing it as well. Dennis can AWP. It's pretty much everyone but Get Right that will have a go with it. There's Snappy, the in-game leader, and there's Config, one of the biggest fraggers within Denmark, arguably one of the absolute best if he gets going.
No question about that. I mean, this is basically the heroic lineup with the addition of Cajun B and Gade doing very well with them. I'm look, we'll see. I'm impressed and optimistic for Optic. I'm a little worried for NIP. Still a great team in their own right, but Get Right again. He's got a back to fire at, and he can't land it. Same problems as yesterday. Gade is the one to take him down. Rez tries to do what he can to compensate for NIP. It brings it back to both he and Lecro to go against Yugi, Gade, and Config, and the bomb that is now planted in favor of Optic on this, the T side of Nuke. Lecro. Still trying to work in. Rez, good find on Config. Gets that cleanly as well. That's for free. So 2 kills for him. No HP lost. No kit. They've got to go quickly. Yugi absolutely destroys Rez, and Lecro's got to make noise. At this point, it's up. He's got the P2000, so he'll be loud and proud the whole way through, but chasing away from the site, trying to buy time. Good read that he has to go backwards, but Gade's ready for that. Walks him into the door, and it's Optic 1-0.
Yeah, definitely similar issues haunting NIP in that particular round. Get Right, it's the perfect position. Needed to find at least 1 kill there. Couldn't connect the shots, and Optic exploited that fact. His Rez on the retake, gave it a good go, got a couple of decent frags. That especially was wonderful. But Yugi holding well, comes down to 2 versus 1. Lecro, unfortunately, completely outpositioned. Yugi doing really nice job there, just staying alive, wasn't even going for the frags, buying as much time as he could for his teammate. And it will be the force fight in the second round here. We're going to see Deals and CZs, of course, up against 2 rifles, 3 SMGs. Presumably just go towards outside, let those rifles do their thing. They are going to have all the smoke, so that's going to up a split to me. Going towards that main entrance, flashbang actually catching the Optic side. I think comes in. KGB's down to 20 HP, but Config looking assertive here. Wants to get in there, find the headshots. Dennis, fantastic pistol user. Not good enough. Taken down, and that will be the upper bomb site open.
Bomb planted. Bomb has been planted. Yugi, UMP behind the vents. Front door, Snappy. He's going to shut down the main entrance as he swings out with the AK. Yugi does the same to Get Right when he tries to work in back toward the secret side. Config gets the final kill, and Optic go up 2-0.
They do. I managed to catch Get Right this morning. He said he was in the practice room until about 4 in the morning, just death matching FPL, just back to back, wanted to get the aim back in. Hopefully we see him a bit of a resurrection today. Like we said yesterday, bad day. We obviously played a lot of CS, it's a huge sample size, we saw over 100 rounds I think from them. Sometimes that happens, and I tweeted before, I feel like NIP are going to show up today. I feel like they've got a lot to prove, but unfortunately they get another life now. This isn't going to be a straight elimination if they lose the best of 3. Optic, certainly the favourites here, and they've got a great start on Nuke. They're going to find a 3-0 here, almost certainly. Full eco for NIP, USPs and a P2000. As Optic make their way through towards Secret, just going to be trying to get that bomb down as quickly as possible. Get Right, hoping to do some damage at the USP. Optimistic at best, I'm afraid.
So Snappy leads the charge to lower with the MAC-10. Cajun P, UMP. Interesting positioning outside behind the AC vent on the small roof, Henry, because if they went that way, it's not common you even see one player there, at least not frequently. And then there's now 2 plus 1 in heaven. Interesting thought, but it's going to amount to very little given the bomb is now planted lower. Yugi holds to the control room with the AK. Just gets ripped apart by Gade, and there's really not much else to work for. In fact, Cajun already ready for them to rotate back through ramp, finds one, gives the information that there's more heading in that direction, and round's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. It's a matter of how much damage NIP can do if they can get a gun. If they go toward Cajun, he's the most likely that they'll try and overwhelm. It's still only a UMP, but better than nothing, I suppose.
Well, there it is. That's round guaranteed. And Lekrum and Rez just looking for any sort of opportunities they can find here. Maybe take someone down with the bomb, even if it's with the explosion. But Rez, I don't think will be causing much of a dent here. Looks like everyone from Optic will survive. We'll confirm that now. Yes, Cajun B manages to get out of the blast radius. There we go, 3-0. This is certainly what you'd call a bonus round. 5 kills picked up so far for NIP. The majority of those from Rez, who sits on 4 and 3. Forest 1 and 3. The rest are on 0. So no AWP on either side right now. It's a great spawn for Optic here. It's pretty much as good as it gets. And we'll see whether they want to go for a faster pace tactic. That's normally the idea on these sort of rounds where you bring the SMGs in. You know there's maybe a chance of a player having no helmet, for example. They definitely don't have incendiaries. So an execution could be a great shout here. We'll see what they're up to. Let's get default for now. Outside smokes get deployed, and Snappy makes his way down towards Secret. He's alone with the Mac 10, remember. He just wants to go down there, try and find one kill or force a rotation. That'd be amazing if he can do it. Normally in-game leaders will go for these single approaches, try and open things up, and then when they got the information, they think it's a good time to go. That's when they'll call for their teammate to strike. Snappy gets across. Forrest can't hit the shot.
Okay, yeah. Gade takes down Rez. Snappy's still inside of the vents as Forrest is working below. Get Right gets there to support him, so they clear the vents. That'll allow them to work from the stairs. Again, it's a bit more awkward to try and work back in the site, given that you can't go through them directly toward it. They work in tandem instead to try and clear out the control room stairs. One kill for Forrest, but traded back by Yugi as he's able to collect him. Get Right can't say anything of it. And on top of that, flames on the stairs will limit the approach and force them back towards Decon, which is being watched by Cajun. Good find from Config. He'll cut out Dennis. Wow. Config swinging back, and from the catwalk collects all 3, in fact, as Optic find their 4th round.
Really nice stuff there from Optic. That you can't really play it much better than that. Nice little play with the Mac 10 to get down towards lower. Didn't find any kills, but caused a rotation from round. They forced the player to go down towards lower. He manages to negate Forrest at the steps, and then Config with this really nice play. We did say he is one of the strongest fraggers from Denmark, and you just got a nice little glimpse of it there. 4-0 and the full eco as Optic look incredibly strong right now. I really feel like NIP needed a decent start here to get their heads in the game. It's a difficult map to operate on. It is a NIP classic, but that was many years ago. As Garen Forrest, as they take the tactical pause now, I don't think they can afford much more than just pistols and armor, especially on that CT side. But these rounds are always still possible. That's why they'll take the pause and work out what they can do here. Dennis probably been the absolute best player for NIP in this event. Fresh off retiring from the in-game leader role, handing the baton over towards Lekro. Take from that what you will. We'll see if that's still the case in a few months. As Forrest waits. He'll be on the hut, and you can see exactly what Optic have in mind. Just hold up, try and ascertain what kind of weaponry they've got here. What kind of setup are they doing? Are they stacking a particular position? Can we get any reads from poking towards outside, or we have the advantage, or we can challenge those pistols? If the players outside suggest that upper might not be completely overwhelmed, but Snappy could find himself in a bit of hot water here. There we go. 2 kills coming in the Deagles. Like I said, these rounds are definitely still possible. Gade, though, equalizes things, and Lekro can't connect his Deagle this time. It's going to be a 2 versus 1. Dennis has got the rifle now. Remember, he's got armor as well. He has won a tremendous amount of clutches for this squad at this event. Gade looking to challenge. An audacious one, but
that's one of the problems, though, right? I mean, he's won a tremendous amount of clutches, but it's clutches that they've been relying on.
Indeed. That has been a major factor for them.
It's common, I think, actually, if you look at I don't know, go through any of the top highlight clips that have shown up on Reddit. Oftentimes, it's the losing team that has the highlight clip.
Sure.
It's quite rare you get one player going off like that. I mean, Simple carrying a whole game, sure. Nico, same thing. There's going to be highlights in there. But the crazy clutches usually come from the team that are behind, because that's what they're relying on.
Yeah, NIP have definitely been saved from some clutches to keep them in games, and it's been some very uncomfortable experiences at this minor, but still early days here in the best of 3. 5-0 down on the CT side of Nuke is far from ideal. Cajun has made his way towards the vent already. He's actually out in the bomb site. We'll see whether he can take down Forrest here. Forest striking first, and Yugi trying to get the trade, but here comes Cajun. Should be able to get something with this, but Forest holds strong with that silenced M4. 3 versus 2 as Gade will find another frag. It's all falling apart now as Snappy continues to apply the pressure. Bomb will be planted.
That panel certainly provides cover for Gade to put that down in the middle. Forest did very well to find Cajun wrapping out as well, and it's Gade that's going to hold it for Optic, pull it back around despite Nip's good efforts to shut down the early approach on the site.
They look calm over there as well in the Optic camp. That's a huge
stoked.
round for them to win. They're not even like, I thought Cobb to be fired up.
6-0 D side.
Yeah, that's insane. Gade, remember he came from the academy program as well, similar to what Mertz was going through, and they brought him into Optic. And these younger players, now we mentioned yesterday, it seems to be a complete stable of young talent like this that's very reliable and very good at the game.
I'm not surprised, actually, that have sort of taken over the Scandics as the top country right now, because if you looked even in 2014, they had so many young talents. I mean, Device was super young back then still. Dupree, same thing. Look at those guys now, right? And they've got a whole plethora of other players coming up. So Denmark especially is a case example of that.
I think those academy teams, they were underrated. We got some great names. The Fnatic academies were Golden.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe we just need more time to prove their worth, because they are showing now.
Sure. They really are. They're developing as players, and they're becoming valuable assets for their organizations, and that's the best way to bring in new players to your squad. It's not going to be a massive buyout. As we talk about that, it is developing into a more tricky situation here, 4 versus 3, but still no rifles recovered by NIP.
I do wonder if there's perhaps more to be, I don't know, maybe a content piece, a documentary or something, a podcast of talking to one of the teams about it. Hold for a second, because Cajun's heading to lower against the Pistols, and they are a man down. He does not have the bomb, but Gade does, and he'll take down Get Right with a nade. So bomb to be planted. I'll come back to my point as the smoke blooms, and they'll work from ramp. It's Forest and Rez in this direction. Cajun's going to hold off right and left of the ramp. Meanwhile, Gade, he'll hold new box staring at the wall at this point because he's waiting for flashes.
Nice shot.
Great shot from Rez. Now he's got the angle, Gade. Backs to position. 11 HP for Rez. Should be straightforward. A fair to take him down, but Rez is going to check the angle. Doesn't matter. Now they know he's there. That's the most important thing. He gets the information because, again, low on HP. He was due to expire. It is just Forest remaining, though. He's got an AK picked up, and he's gotten behind Gade. Oh, no, Forest.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Still hates to see it.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a lot of that this tournament from NIP. Forest and Get Right with their fair share of difficult interactions in the back, but like I said, that one doesn't really matter, so I don't think it'll be too tilted about anything.
Just to finish the point, I think maybe there is a content piece. I'd like to know more. Again, academy teams are signed. We think, oh, these players, no one knows them, whatever. We disregard them immediately. But as you say, there's been a number of players that are now successfully coming through them. I'd like to know more about maybe some of the practice regimes, or if they're getting much implementation from the upper teams in that regard to learn from it. Yugi holds down Forest as they run through Squeaky, but it's Get Right finally from above to get 2 kills and slow the approach, allowing Rez to walk back in and drop the bomb temporarily, I'll say, because Snappy's already gathered it back up.
Even still, 2-on-2, there's so much money available for Optic, even though they don't win this. The reset potential is off the charts. Bomb will be planted. Dennis has the AWP. They have 1 incendiary, and Rez rotating in. He'll be up there as well. They get Molotov'd off. That's a nightmare. They have got the kit, but how do they get past this one? Another Molotov goes in towards Heaven. Rez just can't do anything about this. It's buying so much time for the terrorists. They're Optic looking for their 8th round, as Dennis does find the M4. He'll come in towards main entrance, but that's surely the round at this point. Rez fires off and gets nothing inflicted towards Cajun B, and that's another very clean round from Optic. They've survived 2 players. Spiral NIP into another situation where they're just on pistols. 8-0 on the T side of Nuke. They really are looking unbelievably good. Optic have not made a mistake yet. That's why we said yesterday we thought Optic and ENCE would be a realistic final, right? Because they're the teams that seem the most impressive right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is certainly impressive. 8-0 on the T side. Good golly.
I'm going to say this as well. I don't think NIP are necessarily playing badly right now. This is just Optic doing a very, very good job. But this could swing. We've got a 2-on-2 again. We've had plenty of these. They brought a lot of these rounds very close. And Yuki's trying to get that AK. Needs to be careful now. Got himself in a bit of a tricky situation. Does recover the AWP. Going for the wall bangs here, but Config. He felt like that's a guaranteed kill. Not quite. Get Right rises to the occasion. Now it's just Yugi. Get Right's less than 20 HP, but there's still over a minute on the clock, so that Molotov's not really going to do much for them. At least allows them to reposition and work out how they're going to hold on to this bomb. But if Yugi takes down even one of these players, they're in a lot of trouble here. The 1-dig has to come through, but surely Forest has outpositioned him at this point. Oh my goodness, he didn't hit him once. Get Right needs to be very careful there.
Wants the bomb back. That's the goal, but Forrest is going to deny that. Get Right was close enough. They were low on HP. Chance that he could have easily caught them off. Finally, Nip on the board, but 2 players surviving.
But that was the eco, so that's
true.
Still going to be money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, to an extent, they're still easily fragile if they lose this round.
Sure.
Mid-half as well, that would be catastrophic.
Yeah. This enables them to get the full setup now, so they get all the grenades, everyone's got the fuse kits, helmets, and they still have around $2,000 in the bag. So it's not as disastrous as it could be, but you're right, still reset potential here. 8-1, NIP on the board now. Took a while, but the sad news is, if you told Optic they could get 8 rounds on the T side of Nuke in the first half, they would bite your hand off. They would take that all day long. They could potentially get like 10 or 11 here. So NIP really needs to continue finding rounds here. Only victory they've had so far is a partial buy with pistols.
So, AWP for Lekro. He'll hold outside. Smokes down to cover cross. Dennis is below in secret, but not playing aggressively. He's back toward the vents. Ooh, good read from Lekro to look in that direction, but Config with an AK at that range just destroys him.
He really does. And Lekro had the advantage there as well. We even spotted them getting up. But Config too quick. Too powerful. As he finds the 5-on-4. 45 seconds remaining. Forrest waiting for the CC vent. Vulnerable to Molotovs in that position. Look how quietly they're going towards heaven here. They could get players beneath the ladder, 2 up there. Forrest will get back 1 towards Squeaky. That's Cajun B. At least makes things equal now as Rez needs to be very careful. The time is going to work in his favor though. Takes a little bit of damage there. Snappy's already made it up towards Nessie, but no idea. He'll get the first, but not the second.
But Rez is able to capitalize on Config, finally shutting down that outside approach. As Dennis, taking advantage of this, is going to think he's clever by rotating to upper and getting behind them, but they've read it well and gone down the vents back to lower.
8 seconds to spare. The bomb will be planted. That was the perfect call. Dennis would have sabotaged everything if they went towards upper. So now the retake begins. Remember, the reset potential is there. And Yugi has got a lovely little angle to take down Dennis, but Dennis is pre-aiming this nicely.
Waits for it, and patience pays. Yugi stands up. If he stayed crouched, no chance that shot exists. Gade now knows he's in that direction. We already saw Rez go down. He was trying to work toward the vents, and he's made it to the site. Thankfully, Gade has taken out Dennis before any time. It's allowed Rez to either get on the bomb or get on the attack. Flash toward the door, but it's closed. That won't do much. Doesn't even allow him to get on the bomb. It's open for him, and good shot from Gade. 9-1, that's the reset.
Decent attempt there by Rez, but low HP, he couldn't really do much of. He had a smoke maybe, could throw it on the door and make things really uncomfortable, but that one flash defuse attempt, all he could really hope for was that it made him run out and panic. What a shot that was. That really set the tone and Gade. Lovely stuff. Dennis had his number as well. Dennis was waiting for that repeat. He knew exactly where he was. And he comes out on top, and you can see the mishmash buy up here from NIP. The Nova's out for Get Right. They've got scouts and 2 pistols, 1 M4. Lose this round, and that could be the game. I hate to be the pessimist, but on the T side, they really are completely battering them right now. And this is another partial buy, forced buy, where they need to win.
Config. Bit of utility thrown outside. He'll wait for Snappy to join him. Looks like smoke execution as they're all positioning themselves so as to throw the wall down. Quick one bounces off the fence close. That's thrown by Yugi. And then 2 deep, front of secret, but no commitment. It's actually just to hold NIP in that direction. Shotgun for Get Right. Will be an interesting purchase, especially where he's in the hut and they're not going that direction. We talk about rotation and how applicable it is to support your teammates at range. Micro, late position, smoked, flashed, and tagged to 12 HP. Held out, at least gets information that they're heading toward ramp, which means Get Right potentially could have gotten that shotgun on rotation sooner, but being in the hut, he didn't get to the vents in time. And Snappy's already down toward the control room. Forrest is going to try and combat this. He's got the M4, checks the corner. Snappy wisely steps wide just as he steps in. Good shot, Get Right. Gets 1 with the shotgun, but that's all. So far, as he picks up an M4, it'll increase his accuracy and his range, allowing him to take down Yugi. And it's a 3 versus 3. Bomb planted as well for Optic, but a chance that they can pull this back on the NIP side, more so because they've got all the kills required and time enough, despite not having a kit.
How they done that, I couldn't tell you, but it's Get Right with 3 kills in total. We said he'd been training his aim last night, wanted to put his best foot forward today, and that's much better. A round where they were destined to lose. He keeps them in the game. That was absolutely his win. The shotgun, how has that pulled it off? Nice work by Get Right. Promising signs at least. They're looking for 9-6 here as they take a timeout. Still not completely stable. They do manage to bring over 2 rifles here. Got the AWP in the hands of Dennis. We'll look at the scoreboards while we're here. The very top is Gade. 18 kills and 5 deaths on the T side after 11 rounds. Are you kidding me? That is insane. 18 and 5. Snappy, 10 and 9, the in-game leader, posting decent numbers. Config, 9 and 7. Top of NIP is Rez. Another good showing by him as he gets 10 kills, 10 deaths beneath his Forest of 9. Get Right with 8. Lecro and Dennis a little bit off the pace with 3 and 4 respectively. Tactical pause. They know they need to find consecutive rounds now. Can't keep letting them run away with this. Already a scary prospect, the fact they've got 9 on the T side. Just take it round by round. Get whatever you can, try and avoid those resets. And here we go then. Rez looking to get a little bit aggressive in the ramp perhaps. Does smoke it in, nades through. So he's got the Molotov smoke combo. Gonna go for a spam, I'd imagine. And actually dinks Gade. So this could be a kill for him. And the nade actually missing.
Yeah, but gets the man that he wants. Yeah.
That's kind of a bit of luck, but he'll take it.
He will, except for that it doesn't soften up any other targets. However, the fact that they don't have much to work with in terms of utility and he gets a position, he's still able to make this work. Rez nearly getting the ace. Down with 4 kills. Forrest will close it out. An easy task for NIP at that point.
We've commented on this before. I think Rez is actually a really fantastic ramp player. He's got a nice mixture of aggression and defense play. He knows when he wants to do it. He can bring it in 1 or 2 times a half. And then he's got great fundamentals of falling back and knowing where the pressure is coming from. There's great positioning there. He's safe for 1 kill, goes to the second, actually ends up almost getting the ace. And that shuts down the economy of Optic. Finally, NIP are looking much more promising here. It's Rez that has fired them up. 3 rounds on the board. It's going to be the force buy from Optic with a couple of AKs. Now missing a pistol as Gade goes down. It's Rez continuing the pain from the previous round. Finds his 15th frag there. So no.
Good shot from Micro. Config. NIP starting to show some life. Is it too late? 9-3 so far, and they're on the CT side. Cajun B, great shot on Rez with the Deagle, but he's left in a 1 versus 4. Yeah, in the last round with the nade missing but getting the kill. Great, gets the kill. But if it had have gotten through the door, it might have softened them all up enough that maybe the ace was on the cards. 6 of one, half dozen of the other, maybe.
Cajun's doing a good job of getting these deagles. He's actually making this round expensive. That's 2 players down now. No chance of him winning it, but every kill he finds is certainly beneficial for the future. Money's not exactly amazing for an IP. You can see there on the right-hand side. $1,000 for Forrest and Get Right. Same story for Dennis, really. So every kill, if he gets 1 more, that will be substantial.
Just holding on to the AK. Smokes off T-spawn so as to indicate perhaps that he's gone in that direction. If they are on the pursuit. We can tell they're certainly not. So this ends as it is. We get a 4th round for NIP. 4th in the last 5. Is 9-6 doable for them T-side?
Yes.
NIP used to be a solid, very different roster,
definitely
but a solid Nuke team.
You just need a bit of momentum going in your favor, a few clutches. As long as it's not 0 on the board, everything's possible. So, yeah, I think if they get to 6, that's fine. Cajun opts to save the AK. They're going to be eco next round anyway, so you can save a bit of kit here with the AK armor, see where they can cause some damage. Slots bonus starts to rack up. That's 3 in a row now for an IP. Get Right, got them in this position. Rez capitalised upon it. So some deagles now on an AK-47. Needs to be careful. 1 smoke purchased by Cajun, so he spent most of his money there. Obviously didn't get any cash for this round. As they head towards outside, Cajun going to be trying to open things up.
Cajun still waiting for it with the AK. He's going to go aggressive. Lecro's waiting for him outside. Not on the op this time. M4 finds the first one. Puts him down to about 20 bullets left in the mag. Goes in, swings, finds another angle, and takes down Cajun as well. Very well done from Lecro.
Absolutely.
More so because that's the AK, making things a matter of course now against the Deagles. Mind you, I say that, and Rez oversteps the mark. Gade gets one back. Damage done onto Dennis, albeit slight. More so that Snappy and Yugi are on 18 and 15. Gade's got the M4 picked up. He's the high roller with both the HP and now the weapon to work with. He'll go back toward lobby, though. Does he check corner? He does get right. Oh, completely destroyed. Caught off on that one entirely. An AK picked up for Yugi. This starts to become more of a problem for NIP. Gade with both kills. Lycro.
Snappy's behind them on the silo right now. He actually had access to a few kills, but focusing on the secret area, Lycro's focusing on kills. As he gets 2 towards main entrance, that will be round concluded. 20 seconds remaining. Snappy in the 3 versus 1. See whether he can do anything with this. Manages to be taken down by Forrest there. We're going to have the final round of the half. We'll see $4,000 per player. And the bullpups come out. The AUG for Lycro. I'm assuming that's going to be thrown away. Sure, it still works. No, we've seen people experiment with the Krieg. There was a little month period where MBK was buying it consistently.
Yeah, MBK was as well,
Yeah.
and Magisk was the other.
But it didn't really work out. No one really caught on and tried it out themselves.
Yeah, I know. In theory, I can understand the principle behind it. In practice, doesn't really work. Obviously, that's no fall off, better first bullet accuracy, but it's more expensive and it's not a comfortable weapon in terms of familiarity. Muscle memory for the spray.
Muscle memory of the spray, especially, is like you've got, well, some players 10 years of experience of using the AK, and it's a much wilder gun in terms of the recoil. Dennis now trying to hold them off towards lower. He'll do a great job. My goodness, he gets 2. Taps them down, and 9-6 is looking very possible now, but still, kills coming back in favor of Optic. Snappy, whoever he can here, and Rez brings it into the 3 versus 1. Yugi will actually have the AK-47. Make his way towards the vents here. Last round, no saving here. NIP have done a great job of getting back into this, but is it a little bit too late? 9 rounds is already extremely significant here. They shut down the momentum at least, but Nuke will do everything he can at this point to find round number 10. Not going to happen. There we go. Well, slow start for the Ninjas. They were 9-1 down. They went to 9-6.
Keep in mind their first game yesterday against Red Reserve, they were 8-1 down and still managed to pull that back. 9-6 on CT side is still a loss by all accounts. However, like you said, they pulled it back with momentum. It's unfortunate they couldn't do it sooner, but it gives them a chance, especially if they win this pistol to start off the second half. The CT-sided pistol for Optic could put them in a fine position to close this and move forward in the best of 3. Remember, it would book them an immediate rematch with Ents. That was the upper bracket final of the group. Best of 1 in that case. It'll be a best of 3 this time, and winner of that, it'll be tomorrow. We'll move on to the final and then secure a spot in the challenger stage of the major. Dennis, aggressive, got Deagle, or rather, excuse me, Glock. He's going to head toward ramp. Makes contact already, but not committing to the ramp. Not yet, at least. He'll go now when his teammate gets behind him. His teammate in Forest. Good find from Config. Faded in. They went toward Snappy in the control room, but Lycro now works back toward main. Hawk in hand for him, and out of the air, Cajun B is going to destroy him as he watched his teammate get right, go down in front of him. Optic look like they've got this pistol, no problem.
Yeah, Forrest making noise. You know, his options are quite limited here. They sound surprisingly well. Sort of slight chance, not anymore. Gade removes his head. He'll find his 21st frag, and that was a upper push there from NIP. Tried to get things going. Focusing on splitting lower as well. Config with that lovely shot. And they're trying to get towards the vents. Occasion B with the CZ, shutting it all down. Gade finish things off here. Nice work. Takes down Forrest, and there we go. Should be the force buy here from the Swedes. You'll see Deagles and a CZ. 1 flashbang, make it 2. Are they going for something quick here? Doesn't look like Occasion B just resides on top of the hut. Doesn't have to worry about Molotovs. None of them will be coming into the fray. And for now, it's all very quiet as Yugi with a very advantageous position with the M4 watching towards Secret. Tight angle. Yeah, I don't think he'd be finding an instant kill with that one, but at least get some intel and stay safe.
still going to watch out to see if they head towards Secret. M4 for him to work with. Snappy can respond, swing out potentially from a main entrance. He'll go now. Good find. See Shadow gets the first shot with the UMP. Might line them all up. In fact, they're softened up from a distance, and it's config to close it. Optic pretty straightforward. Keep 5 alive, though, importantly. They'll start to build up bank and look potentially, depending on how this round goes, toward a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. With 1 rifle and up against Glock armor, that suggests that's exactly what will be happening. Glocks, no dollars spent whatsoever. You know, next round's going to be a little bit tricky. Might have everything they need. What's the player? They just rush outside from Silo, it looks like. Just go for a main entrance push, see if they can just trade out some kills here. They're making a lot of noise, but Snappy will be ready for them. They're going to go 1 by 1, so he should be able to handle this just fine. And indeed he will. Nice idea, get the round over with. It's Nuke. It's not like you can really do much with it. Maybe a Venn dive, try and get the bomb down, but still, it's unlikely. It's not like you can do that as efficiently anymore. We talk about the vent being on the inside of the bomb site. That's been removed and now just lead you to the other side of the hall, so you can just have a bit more mobility in the back tracks, but you can no longer Venn dive and quickly plant within 5 seconds.
I still miss the second vent because you could go through and pop back up. It was like a teleportation to get inside of the upper side as well, but long gone. That's a decent nade, lands directly at Lekro's feet. So early damage done to him over toward the ramp side of the map.
So Yugi throws away his M4, gives it to Snappy, of course. They upgrade to an AWP. So it is still a bonus round, but they're making sure they just bolster themselves up a little bit more. Yugi on an AWP is absolutely amazing. Like I said, I think he's one of the best AWPers at this tournament, along with Alu. World-class talent for sure. I haven't seen the best of him out of his career so far. I think there's more to come. And hopefully it's realized in this Optic squad. It is going to be a 5-on-3. As AK's now up against it. Occasion will be dropped, but Gade's got a decent position. Get Right's already out of the ramp. Making some noise over there. That's going to get that kill, surely. Indeed, he does. Nice work. Brings things back to a more even kill as Dennis finds the advantage. Not for long. Big round this one. NIP can't afford to lose it. They'll be 13-6 down and the money will be broken. They at least need a plant out of it as they start to head outside. Get Right. Still 100 HP. Lekro after that initial nade. Not so much. There's a player towards Secret. Missing the initial shot. Snappy won't get the insta-kill. But Yugi's there. And he won't miss a beat. Takes down Get Right, and now Lekro. The new in-game leader. Stuck without the bomb. And under 30 seconds.
Smoke covers his access toward the garage, but Yugi's ready for his arrival. No chance. And Optic now find 13 over the 6 of NIP.
And they have to be eco as well.
Yep. I'm writing off the chances of a T-sided comeback now. Pistol, fair enough. Okay, still a chance. First gun round, a little bit less so, isn't it?
What a round from Yugi. Great player. Partial buy for NIP with the maximum loss bonus going in next. So CZ smokes, so presumably go towards outside. Incendiary to slow them down. They were cut out for them here, but these are the rounds they've been winning, Matt, actually. These have been more successful for them than sometimes the gun rounds. There's the first kill. They seem to have success here, and I think the reason for that is we talked about it yesterday. They've got Dennis and Lekro now within the team, 2 of the absolute pistol gods of the game, and they can make these rounds very, very dangerous. Snappy here's Get Right in the vents as he wants to chase behind him. He needs to look the correct way. Doesn't get the timing quite right, so Get Right's already made it through the vents. Jumps back in. This is looking like an NIP round to me. If Get Right can get the attention before his teammates go, or even find the kill, that's great. And once again, they're doing amazingly well with these pistols. That might even suggest a save now, considering they have to retake the lower bomb site.
Lekro. Still way out toward lobby, hoping that someone's going to push through and he can collect a weapon for it. They've got a substantial advantage, so it's likely that someone might push through as well, because they need to pull back deficit. Meanwhile, Gate is found. He's toward the ramp. Nip. Well done. This is a round they certainly, absolutely, desperately, no doubt about it, needed, Henry.
It's kind of funny how this keeps happening. They seem so out of the game, and all of a sudden, pistols only, when they get a little bit more loose, I guess, and just allow all their players to go find kills, that's when it works out for them. And it's quite nice to see Get Right stepping up there. That's twice now in this particular map he saved them with the shotgun towards lower before in the first half, got them into the game, actually found them those found rounds, that spell of success, and now maybe keeps them in it as well. 2 opening kills from him. CZ to find it first and uses the AK towards ramp. And it's up to Yugi and Cajun B to save their weaponry. 13-7 now, as Yugi holds Just in the locker room. Maybe find a skill macro, no problem at all. Get right with 3.
Nuke misses the op shot that goes to the deagle. He's damaged Rez considerably. Cajun wants to pursue and get that kill for his teammate, but he's still held off by Dennis getting that kill. Yugi's reset and ready and finds his own. So they keep guns up. In fact, they keep the only players up, too, as all 5 of NIP go down, but they pick up the important round, and in doing so, win it with just pistols, giving themselves more money to work with.
Indeed. Everyone did get dropped at that point, but still a successful round. It means the reset potential is back out there. Optic will reinvest into the round and have residual cash as well. Even after the buy, Yugi still has $6,000. Everyone else hovering around 3K. So they have one more buy, even if this one doesn't go in their favor. It took a great individual performance from Get Right with the pistol to get them in this position. Can they do it with the rifles now? That's been the main problem.
Yugi. Up towards Silo. Snappy will hold off Annex. Forrest running as quick as he can towards Secret. Gets by the flames that were deployed intentionally to try and hold off the backside access from that smoke, but he still gets there. That's the important part as Config waits below.
No damage exchange just yet. We get to the 1 minute mark. Config does wait. There's an IP reposition. We know they've got execution potential on this map. They've got Forest towards Secret. Undetected, presumably. Config aware of the prospect of someone being there. But how many? That's the question. He's going to investigate. Forest waiting for him. That's a guaranteed kill for Forest.
Oh, is it?
All right.
That's so unfortunate. He was not even trying to bait Forrest out, but does. And that's just the luck that NIP has had. As of late, Gade up on top of the rafters, able to find 1. Config to do the same. Rez will get Yugi, and it's just Rez remaining, so he needs more than just the 1 kill. He needs 4 in total and 3 more.
That's so unfortunate for Forest, isn't it?
Unreal.
That was a massive kill as well. That would have really opened things up. He'd have control, force a rotation just before his teammates go. They probably wouldn't have to commit as quickly when he got dropped. Here we go then. Config holding vents, 10 seconds. That's round guaranteed at this point. Unfortunately for Rez, decent attempt. Can't even get the bomb down, even if he finds that first kill. Gade stops him, 14-7. Money, after losing all 5 players in their victory, will now be at $2,000 per player. They have to force by now. These rounds have been promising for them before, but surely it can't work every single time. Lose this, that's probably game. It'll be 15-7 down, and money will be at $1,900, second stage loss bonus. So what's the play? They have got 5 smokes, presumably head towards outside as usual. Look towards lower area. They've got a nice little grenade that blows out the squeaky door and the vent. Trying to catch them crossing. My goodness, he actually timed it to perfection. He's given the call to Config, but still, those CZs a little bit too powerful for him. Yugi gets his second, and Gade is on the rotation, but there it is again. The pistol's doing work, and now they've got 2 AK-47s, a bit of utility. Sure, it's a 3-on-2. Gade misses out on what looked like an easy kill to me.
Forrest needs to make up for the last round. Yeah, couldn't do it. Gade does make amends. The luck shall giveth and taketh away. Forrest almost gets back 1.
That would have been great. That's now another 3 versus 1. This time with a lot more to work with. But Gade is just playing out of his mind right now. He's another player on his rookie year. Someone we wouldn't have even heard of in 2017. And he's come from the North Academy, found himself in Optic, and playing out of his mind right now. This is an excellent performance from him. He's got 26 kills and 11 deaths, and Yugi's not missing anything through smoke, it seems. So there we go. Pistols again.
Map points for Optic. We saw 2 16-7s in our opening series, both in favor of Ents. They 2-0'd. They'll play the winner of this. Looking like the first map, at least, is Optic. The series yet to be determined. But we might have a third 16-7. Snappy didn't see that jumping. I thought maybe he just caught the feet, but this could still be huge. Knows they're there because they made noise. Easy. Easy. Oh, okay. More like R-easy as Rez turns around to take out Snappy.
That's good.
Thanks, man.
Reezy.
Well, Gade pulling at the ramp does hug the wall. That only allows him to get 1 kill. NIP have won a round similar to this when they got their 7th, so hold on. Config has other ideas. He'll push back up to get the AK out of the hands of Rez. 3 versus 2.
Well, Here we go. Last chance for NIP. They throw the bomb down. Going for the open plant. Vulnerable to the doors here, but Forrest trying to defend. Oh my goodness, Config is fearless. Sure, he goes down and gets traded out, but he denies that plant. I know exactly where Forrest is now. He'll plant for decon, but that will be to his demise. There we go. A clinical performance there from Optic. Didn't miss a beat in the second half. They were 9-1 up on their T side. Clinical stuff, and fair play to NIP. They weren't completely missing there. Rez was on a bit of a tear. He got 19 frags there. Forrest is 17. Get Right had some great moments as well. So, wasn't their map, wasn't meant to be, but still an entertaining game. I really did enjoy that. Shout out to Gade as well, a player we don't talk about that often, and he looked fantastic along with Yugi. The whole squad was performing. Convict some great impact opening frags. And Matthew, this is just warming up. Hopefully NIP can bounce back. Do you think they can?
Look, it surprisingly looks more convincing than yesterday in some aspects in terms of what's been going on, but it's hard to say. There's a lot of luck going against them still, and Optic looks very sharp. We'll find out if they can close the series after this break.